Hello and welcome to the CX Files podcast. I'm your host, Mark Hillary. In this edition, I'm speaking to the CEO of Teleperformance UK and South Africa, Matt Sims. Teleperformance is one of the largest customer experience companies in the world, with a footprint in 76 countries and 223,000 employees. I was speaking to Matt about emerging CX technologies because his team will be participating in a panel debate focused on the line between human and automated CX at the CX Tech Conference on October 12th in London. I'm also going to be speaking at this event, so please do say hi if you're going to be there. Okay, let's go straight to the interview. So CX Tech, the event, it's all about technology and automation, but it's clear from my own experience with tools like Siri and some customer service chatbots that we're not really in this automated utopia just yet. So what is your focus going to be at the event?
I think for me, Mark, the principle, the concept of automated utopia is an interesting topic in itself. We could probably spend a good few hours talking about interpretation of what utopia looks like in an automated world, but I don't think that's necessarily for now. I think for me, the key thing to cover off from an experiential perspective is the technological advancement that we're seeing in the customer experience world right now when it comes to deployment of tools such as automation, such as artificial intelligence. As all things technological, we tend to go through significant periods of hype cycle, and of course we're experiencing that right now when it comes to things like automation and artificial intelligence. Of principal importance, in my opinion, is how smart organizations that are taking digital and technological advancement really seriously and looking to integrate them into their overall customer experience platform and their customer experience solutions. It really is about a variety of human and digital channels, augmenting them together and trying to create an enhanced customer journey that allows the user, i.e. the consumer, to move easily between channels, but also to make sure that they can get their experience managed within that channel. So if I call an organization, for example, because I'm moving home and I want to switch my utility supply, if I decide to do that through an automated channel or through an alternative digital channel, I want to make sure that I can do that through that digital channel from start to finish. I think where we're seeing challenges in the space of technology advancement right now is where organizations are too quickly trying to determine what utopia looks like. They're not necessarily listening to their customers. They're not listening to their peers. They're not becoming users of the channels and the digital experience themselves. So for me, Teleperformance focus at the CX Tech event is I guess about bringing some reality to the equation. It's about talking about real life experience, real life examples in a practitioner sense. So where we've actually deployed and delivered some of these services on behalf of organizations before, where we've been able to work with them strategically to strike the right balance between technology and humans so that we can improve interactions. We can enhance customer experience. We can create stronger advocacy for consumer brands as well, because we're being much more considered in developing and delivering sophisticated customer experience solutions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, when you've actually deployed some of these solutions then, I guess you've had a chance to analyze how customers behave. So have you seen a distinct split between customers who only prefer dealing with a human and some who might be happier actually dealing with an automated service just because it works and it's faster?
I think it's an interesting question, Mark, and I think research still would indicate quite strongly across the analyst community and across other research communities that 75% plus of consumers would still prefer to work and interact with a human. And I think some of that is about the hype cycle. It is about implementing solutions for the technology that I describe as call avoidance. So it's where organizations are trying to deploy strategies to actually avoid human contact with people. And of course, we know that by default, once you try and dictate to somebody how they should behave, how they should respond, then they typically react badly against that, and they will go down the path that they want to go down. It really is about how you deploy the solution in itself, how you design it, how you make sure that it is right for your customers. I think what we're seeing right now from a digital customer adoption perspective is that customers are cynical, consumers are cynical about organizations that are looking to just deploy these things without proper consideration, where they're looking to implement them to replace human interaction. And as I said before, I think augmentation of human interaction is of critical importance. So again, going back to an example, if I was to go down a path of trying to transfer my utility supply whilst I was moving home, and I was able to complete that through a digital journey, if through that digital journey it was then picked up through customer analytics on a proactive basis, that I actually would be eligible for a better tariff, for example, within my utility supply, if that then bounced out to a human, it would probably be more effective in today's society, more acceptable in today's society for a human to pick up and conclude that sale, because it adds a level of empathy that, of course, a robot isn't yet able to do. Although I am seeing, as many of us are, a lot more sophistication when it comes to adding personality to the digital experience as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, is the real problem then that for many services, an automated chatbot can actually work very well, but when you hit a roadblock, when you get a question that the automated system just can't answer, there's a lot of brands that have pushed the automation so much that it's impossible to switch over to a human.
I think that's a fair comment, Mark, and it goes back to the sentiment around avoiding contact and preventing your customers from contacting you in a way that they feel is appropriate to them as consumers. We saw it 15 years ago in contact center environments where organizations started to deploy complex IVR solutions, and they were complex at the time. It was an advancement in terms of the customer service offering that organizations were able to offer and to deploy to help service consumers. The reality is, like any technology, if you deploy it in the wrong way, if you use it as a strategy to cut down cost and don't really consider how the customer is impacted through that experience, then the customer is likely to behave badly when it comes to, or to react badly, I should say, when it comes to their experience of it. And as we all know, advocacy in today's society is absolutely critical, because there's so much choice, there's so much opportunity for customers to bounce between different service providers and different solution providers from a consumer perspective, that making sure that you're close to your customer, making sure you understand what's right for them is of critical importance.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so then finally, talking about some of these emerging technologies we're going to be talking about at the CX Tech event, are these technologies really designed to augment and assist the human CX agents in the contact center rather than replace them entirely? Because that's the normal media headline, that the robots are taking over. For instance, I mean, are we looking at tools that help the agents personalize the experience by listening into the call and using AI to understand exactly what the customer wants? Because no individual agent would personally know that customer, but the system would be able to see their entire shopping history. So is that what we're really talking about here?
I think we are, Mark. I think we're still a long way, in fact, away from the robots taking over the customer experience. If we look at the manufacturing world, robots have been deployed and sophisticated solutions have been provided to try and enhance and speed up production of cars, for example. We don't see manufacturing plants of cars without any humans involved in them. It actually, in the customer experience world, enables, in my opinion, the agent to understand more about the consumer, enabling them to provide a much deeper, more personalized customer experience. And what I mean by that, of course, is the fact that you can present an agent in a contact center environment with as much information as you like. You can provide them with access to multiple platforms, multiple systems, and multiple data sets. But the reality is, if you're expecting an agent to work between those different environments, between multiple sets of data, and still provide a slick end-to-end customer experience, one that the end consumer is comfortable with, feels is exceptional in terms of quality, then I think we're all we would be deluded in terms of expecting that to be the natural outcome. We all know that consumers are looking for speed, they're looking for first-time fix, and they're looking for ease of access. So digital, in my opinion, the use of automation, the use of artificial intelligence as an augmentation tool to provide some of the back office and the middleware, if you like, between the data and the agent to enable better personalization and a faster fix, first-time resolution environment is absolutely fundamental as we go forward. But I have to stress that I think it's a really long way away from the robot taking over the customer experience. I just don't think that with the level of empathy is available. I do think that from a transactional perspective, artificial intelligence and automation is a fantastic way of providing elements of the customer experience, but certainly not all of it.
Thanks for listening to the CX Files podcast. Please tell your friends and contacts about the podcast by sharing it using the hashtag #CXFiles. And if you can leave a comment and rating on iTunes, that would be fantastic. Thank you in advance. I'm always open to ideas and suggestions, so if you want topics explored or covered on the podcast, you can find me using @MarkHillary on Twitter. That's Hillary with 2 L's. Or just search LinkedIn for Mark Hillary and CX Files. Thank you and see you next time.